Most people move through their day as if the ordinary moments don't matter. Brewing tea, washing dishes, walking from one place to another. These routines feel boring not because they are empty, but because we rush through them, always looking toward the next achievement or the next distraction. We search for inner peace in big changes, a new goal, a better situation, a future version of life that feels more meaningful. Yet Buddhist wisdom suggests something quietly radical. Peace is not hidden in dramatic transformations. It often appears in the small moments we overlook. What if your daily routines were not obstacles to happiness, but invitations to it? In this video, we explore how mindful awareness can turn ordinary habits into a practice of gratitude, simple, grounded, and deeply human. Because sometimes the life you are waiting for is already unfolding, one unnoticed moment at a time. What if the moments you overlook are already enough? Modern life constantly tells us to become more successful, more efficient, more accomplished than we were yesterday. At first, this pursuit feels motivating, but beneath the surface, it often creates a quiet pressure, the feeling that what we have now is never quite enough. Comparison becomes automatic. We measure our lives against milestones, achievements, or the curated moments we see online. And even when we reach a goal, satisfaction rarely lasts. The mind quickly moves on to the next thing it believes will finally bring peace. This is what Buddhist wisdom calls craving, the endless movement towards something imagined as better than the present moment. Achievement itself is not the problem. The problem arises when achievement replaces presence. Without awareness, even success can feel strangely empty. You arrive at the destination, yet the mind is already somewhere else. The Buddha taught that craving keeps the mind restless, always leaning forward, rarely resting in what already exists. Gratitude begins when that forward pull softens. It is not about rejecting progress or ambition. It is about recognizing that contentment does not come from accumulating more experiences, more possessions, or more validation. Contentment is an internal state, one that grows when we stop searching outside for what must be cultivated within. When craving quiets, even slightly, the ordinary world begins to feel less like a waiting room for happiness, and more like the place where happiness quietly lives. Many people treat routine moments as something to get through. Commuting feels like wasted time. Household chores feel like interruptions. Even quiet moments are filled with distraction because the mind is already looking ahead. But Buddhist wisdom offers a different view. Spiritual practice is not separate from daily life. It lives inside it. The Buddha did not teach that peace exists only in temples or special retreats. He pointed instead toward awareness in the most ordinary actions. Walking, eating, breathing. When attention returns to what you are doing, something subtle changes. Brewing tea becomes more than a task. It becomes a rhythm of movement and stillness. Cooking becomes an act of care. Walking becomes a quiet conversation between body and earth. Nothing about the action itself has changed. Only the quality of attention has shifted. This is the turning point. The ordinary becomes meaningful when awareness returns. Instead of rushing to finish, you begin to notice the warmth of a cup in your hands, the sound of water boiling, the steady pace of your breath as you move. These small moments ground the mind in reality rather than in endless thinking. Over time, routines stop feeling empty. They become anchors, simple practices that bring calm into a busy world. What once felt mundane begins to reveal depth, not because life suddenly became extraordinary, but because you finally arrived inside it. Buddhist wisdom has long taught that where attention goes, the mind follows. Today, modern psychology and neuroscience are beginning to echo the same idea. When we practice gratitude and mindful awareness, the brain slowly learns to notice different things. Instead of constantly scanning for problems or what is missing, it becomes more sensitive to moments of calm, safety, and quiet satisfaction. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulty or pretending life is perfect. It simply means training the mind to recognize balance, not only stress. Without awareness, the mind tends to wander toward the past or the future. We replay conversations, imagine outcomes, or worry about what might happen next. This rumination creates tension because the body stays in a state of alertness even when nothing is wrong in the present moment. Mindfulness interrupts that cycle. When you focus on breathing, walking, or a simple task, attention returns to what is happening now. The nervous system begins to settle. Thoughts slow down, not because you force them to stop, but because they are no longer being fed constant attention. Over time, small moments of awareness accumulate. A quiet breath while waiting, a brief pause before reacting, a moment of noticing sunlight through a window. These moments may seem insignificant, yet they gradually reshape emotional patterns. The Buddha taught that the mind becomes what it repeatedly practices. Modern research suggests something similar. Neural pathways strengthen through repetition. What we repeatedly notice becomes our emotional reality. By gently guiding attention toward gratitude and presence, we begin to experience life not as a series of problems to solve, but as a steady flow of moments already worthy of appreciation. Gratitude does not have to be dramatic or emotional. In Buddhist practice, it often begins with small, quiet rituals woven into ordinary life. One simple way to begin is through sensory awareness during daily chores. When washing dishes, notice the warmth of the water against your hands. Listen to the soft rhythm of movement. Feel the breath moving gently in and out as you stand. The task itself does not change, but attention transforms it from something to finish into something to experience. Walking offers another opportunity. Instead of rushing toward a destination, slow your awareness slightly. Feel each step touching the ground. Notice the air on your skin or the sound of distant movement around you. These small shifts bring the mind back to the present, where gratitude naturally arises, not forced but discovered. A second practice is the morning 3 unnoticed blessings scan. Before checking your phone or beginning your routine, pause for a moment. Look around your environment and identify 3 ordinary things you usually ignore. Perhaps the warmth of your bed, clean water, or the quiet space around you. The goal is not to search for something extraordinary. It is to recognize what is already supporting your life in simple ways. Over time, this practice trains the mind to see stability instead of lack. Another powerful ritual is transforming waiting moments into gratitude pauses. Standing in line, waiting for a message, or sitting in traffic often triggers impatience. Instead of resisting the delay, try softening your attention. Notice your breath. Observe the people around you without judgment. Allow the pause to become a small pocket of stillness. These practices may seem subtle, yet they reshape how you experience daily life. Gratitude grows when attention becomes intentional, not by adding more to your schedule, but by changing how you meet what is already there. Through consistent practice, even the simplest moments, washing dishes, waiting quietly, walking without hurry, begin to feel less like interruptions and more like invitations to rest inside the present. Contentment does not come from a single moment of inspiration. It grows quietly through repetition. In Buddhist wisdom, gratitude is not treated as a passing emotion. It is a daily training of attention. Some days it feels natural. Other days, it feels distant. What matters is returning to the practice again and again. Micro-practices play an important role here. A single mindful breath while walking, a brief pause before reacting, a moment of noticing something simple, a cup of tea, a quiet room, a steady rhythm of breath. These small actions may seem insignificant, yet they prevent emotional exhaustion. Instead of waiting for long breaks or major life changes, you build small spaces of rest throughout the day. Over time, these pauses strengthen emotional resilience. Difficult moments still arise, but they no longer feel overwhelming. The mind learns that calm is available even inside ordinary routines. The Buddha often spoke about discipline, not as restriction, but as a path to freedom. When awareness becomes a habit, you are no longer controlled by restless thoughts or constant craving. Freedom is not found by escaping responsibility or chasing perfect conditions. It is discovered through steady practice within the life you already have. As gratitude becomes more familiar, contentment stops feeling fragile. It becomes a quiet foundation, something that remains present even when circumstances change. And through this gentle discipline, ordinary life begins to feel less like a struggle to endure and more like a path that quietly supports your growth. Contentment is not something waiting far ahead in the future. It already exists inside the ordinary moments of your day. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that gratitude does not change our circumstances overnight. Instead, it gently transforms how we see what is already here. When attention softens, even simple routines begin to feel meaningful. You don't need to redesign your life to begin. Start with one small moment today. A quiet breath, a warm cup of tea, a few steps walked with awareness. These small practices are not insignificant. They are the beginning of a calmer, more grounded way of living. If this reflection resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like more calm, practical wisdom for everyday life, you are warmly invited to subscribe and stay with this space. The life you are waiting for may already be happening, quietly, inside the moments you overlook.